Welcome to match number 2 of game day 1 here at the 2022 CCAA Men's National Soccer Championships here at Willoughby Park in beautiful Langley, BC. The second matchup, of course, features the Seneca Sting taking on the Nomades de Montmorency of Quebec. Let's get the Nomads starting lineup first. Number 4, Musa Demba Sissoko. Number 6, Shalom Chimpuki. Number 9, Alexandre Marceau. Number 10, Ansumane Kamara. Number 13, Varkes Mouradian. Number 18, Malik Mansuel. Number 26, Lies Aghilis Yami. And number 28, Samuel Antoine Sinzidi. For the Seneca Sting, number 1, Anthony Guerrieri. Number 4, Dilman Grual. Number 6, Atif Ali. Number 8, Imran Abdulatif. Number 9, Rashad Griffith. Number 10, Alex Lewis. Number 11, Payman Sultani. Number 17, Adam Othman. Number 19, Aaron Toniolo. Number 21, Francisco Thomas. And number 23, Joel Alain. As mentioned, match number 2 of match day 1 here at the CCAA National Championships. Seneca in the all-white with a little red trim. They'll be playing from left to right on your screen. Meanwhile, the Nomads will... in the early Island University Mariners. A hat trick in that goal as well. Hopefully we see more of the same fireworks here in this second matchup here. Shining and thawing out a bit of those stiff joints slash heating up a bit of the rubber pellets in the turf. Did see a few bouncing balls there in that first game, but it seemed Marceau to the far corner for Sissoko. Press there from Seneca forces Sissoko infield for Chimpuki. And now near side for Malik Mansuel Nichols. Ooh, a sliding tackle there from the Seneca number 26. Great forward play there. Thomas Cerros. Now for Othman into the area. It's side-footed away cleanly by Chimpuki. But Seneca have put an early statement here. They put in, or attempted to put in at least a few really clean, hard crosses. They just haven't found their intended target. Good work there by Alexandre Marceau, the blonde forward for the Nomads. Stinging ball forward in the air. It's a piercing run. It's actually fallen to the lap. Can he have a shot? I believe it's Sissoko who made that carrying run forward, if I'm not mistaken. Marceau's going to help him out. It looked like he might be able to take it in his stride, but it just wouldn't really sit down for him. I thought he might lash it on the left foot as well, but thought of keeping it alive, and it looks like that was the better option. Play infield now from Yami. It was a 10-yard rolled ball. Marceau. Ball forward. Far right-hand post of the Nomads keeper. First real half chance of the match goes the way of the Seneca Sting. Believes there's a number change as well off the starting lineups we were handed. Number 23, Joel Alain, wearing the number 26 shirt, so there might have been a wee... Already Ansumane Kamara panting for breath just in front of us. It's deceivingly warm, but the air is still crisp, and it must hang heavy in the lungs if you're just getting used to it. Of course, I can't imagine the eastern travel and fair bit of jet lag that these two clubs, along with one of the clubs in the last match, Holland College, probably suffering from just ever so slightly. That being said, there was no lack of energy from the Hurricanes in that last match. Great swooping ball. Trying to get on the end of it is the number 7 for the Nomads. He just couldn't corral it and settle it down in time. Clever play there by Simakin. The taller of the two center backs, certainly looks an athlete. Great play by there, Marceau. One touch into the path of number 26, Yami, and he is absolutely cleaned out. I didn't see how high the tackle was, but he certainly got a chunk of him. It's the first real tackle of the match, and I'm sorry, but he's going to be lucky if he escapes without a yellow card here. My goodness, there's people in jail for less than that. And thankfully for number 26, Yami, he's up and okay because he didn't see it coming. Well, maybe he saw it coming at the last second, but he certainly caught the brunt of it. A stern challenge there from Elaine of the Seneca Sting, and that one certainly did sting if you're a Nomads fan. A zip diagonal ball, that one looking for Marceau. It was just out of his reach, though, and the Sting right away looking to get up the park. Griffith just tried to kind of canter around his on-rushing defender, and it's forced into a throw-in about halfway up the park here at Willoughby Park. Probably about a half-hour drive just outside of Vancouver, the suburb of Langley, the township of Langley, I should say, as we know it here in British Columbia. A fantastic setting for the 2022 CCAA Men's National Soccer Championship. Seneca now settling into a little bit of possession here. Good cross into the area. I believe it's Griffiths. He's going to take turn, have a smash. It comes off the midsection of Simakin, and I think that's going to be a real duel to watch. We saw Bagiopoulos and Guerrero in the last encounter here on match day 1 at the Nationals. Something tells me Simakin versus Griffiths, the number 9 versus the number 20. Along the Nomads backline, that might be one to watch. Two strapping, tall, athletic lads that look like they don't want to give up an inch. Ball. Long floated ball over the top, looking for the onrushing Ansumane Kamara. He just gets bodied out by Elaine and Toniolo, it looked like there. Good defending there from the two men in white. Great switch of play there from Kamara. Into the area now. Can he uncork a cross? He does. Right-footed. It's low and hard for Lewis. Clips it back to the top of the area. Nobody there. Everyone had sucked into the goal line looking for that poached opportunity, but Lewis saw some daylight at the top of the box and tried his luck. Unfortunately, no one there. There's another clumsy challenge. It's Joel Elaine again who got away with the first one. This one, way now, Chimpuki, whose range of passing has been on display early in this one. His ability to take, turn, pivot, find lanes, and pick out his teammates just out of the corner of his eye. It's been very impressive. Can he make it pay off in a goal? A goal. Ball over the top now, looking for Manswell Nichols, who had made a lung-busting run from his position on the left flank. He tried to put in a cross. It looked like it came off the defender, Elaine, but doesn't go the way of the braided defender. And Seneca Sting will have a chance to play out from the back now. I would have thought Seneca Sting might have been the team in the ascendancy based on the opening 4 or 5 minutes. As mentioned in game number 1, Willoughby Park, where the CCAA National Championships are being held. We'll get back to this thought shortly because it looks like we have a counterattack on our hands. Well snuffed out, though, by the Nomads. It is directly located right beside the Langley Events Centre, where the local junior hockey team, basketball team, lacrosse team used to play as well, but it's also nestled right behind a elementary school, a middle school, and a secondary school as well. So throughout the day we've had some classes on their recess and their lunch breaks come by to watch the matches. Some kids louder than others, I'm not going to lie. Some stamping their feet, some on skateboards. But it's certainly added to the atmosphere here at the National Championship. Shot on goal, Nomad stop. Great stop by Guerrieri. Again, he's been the busier of the two keepers. That time it was a worm burner from probably about 18 yards out, but he was equal to the task. Low, hard to his left-hand side. Great stuff there from the keeper of the Sting. Francisco Thomas Cerros gives the shimmy and shake to his man, tries to laser in across. It's a great block, though, by Manswell Nichols after he had given Chammy the how do you do. But it'll be a deep throw-in for the, I beg your pardon, it'll actually be a corner kick for the bushy-haired number 21. Hands up in the air, it'll be a left-footed cross right into the mixer for the keeper. He called for it, he punched at it, but his center defender, Simikin, beat him to it. Thankfully, he headed it clear of the danger. They might have been having some not too pleasant words for each other. Seneca put it right back into the box. Free header inside the 6. It was Dillman Gruwall who got the noggin to it, but it just kind of looped over on the other side. I don't think you expected it coming with such pace. Lewis now. He's going to put in a photo clause. Another header, this time straight at the keeper. Oh, a fantastic chance. This time it's Griffith. And Seneca, after playing a bit of rope-a-dope the last 5 or 6 minutes, they answer the bell, and they're having their say. 2 gilt-edged chances within 30 seconds. Excellent play from the men in white. Of course, still 2 more matches to come up today. I believe there will be a 3 o'clock kickoff and a 5 or 5:30 kickoff. Michael McCall from Away from the Numbers Canada, local soccer pundit, and gosh, man who covers all things football here in BC from the grassroots, especially the grassroots on up. He'll be your broadcaster, your play-by-play man for those final 2 games, and we'll follow that format for the next couple games, opening up this back line of the Nomads that has been particularly stingy so far to open this one. Francisco Thomas Cerros, the number 21, who's down on the deck now. His teammates will hope he's up in a flash. He's been the most involved of the players so far for Seneca. Him probably alongside Griffiths and Adam Othman. Good play there from Seneca on the block. I want to say it was Sinzidi. Looked like he had just created enough space for himself in the penalty arc to open up a shot, but I want to say it was Aaron Toniolo just stamps in with a block, and it was a stern challenge as well. He meant business with it. And it wins a goal kick for his keeper, and Seneca will now try and play their way out of the back. Adam Othman hugging the touchline, this right touchline just below the broadcast vantage. Seneca very patient when playing out of the back. The Nomads have elected not to press high. They're going to let Seneca do their thing and not waste energy pressing, which was almost the antithesis of what we saw in the first game of match day 1 here, where it seemed like Holland College and Vancouver Island University were just content to press the heck out of each other. And it did amount to 7 goals, so perhaps that is the way home. So far here, we're at a 0-0 stalemate, but it's a 2-on-2. Kamara threads it through for Marceau. He's onside. Left-footed. Tries to cut it back across. It was Moting making the run at the back post, but just not enough steam on it there from Marceau, who had done ever so well with Kamara to unzip the back line of the Sting. They just couldn't suss out the final ball. Unfortunate there for Marceau. Keep it PG-13. Seneca will now try their luck up the left-hand side. Alex Lewis gets behind the back line. Can he put it across? It's an outside of the right boot. It's an open net. No, he cuts it back. Oh, somehow it stopped, and now it's finally put in. I believe it's Griffith. It's a mad scramble inside the penalty box. One tap-in wasn't put in. The second was stopped, but the goalkeeper, Montmorency, left Rashad Griffith, and he makes it 1-0 for Seneca. You could say possibly against the run of play. The Nomads have had some good spells, but Seneca all of a sudden look like they're the squad in the ascendancy. Great play there again from Francisco Thomas Cerros, trying to thread it through for Adam Othman, who's given Manswell Nichols a real handful, and it's going to be a deep throw-in for Seneca. The Nomads looking to get their foot back in the door here after almost opening the scoring a couple times, including a fantastic glancing header from Alexandre Marceau. It's been mostly Seneca, as their pacey forwards have really caused problems for the Nomads. I believe it's Francisco Thomas Cerros. It will be a free kick, though, from a dangerous position as well. It will be, looks like a 2 or 3 man wall. The Nomads are kind of figuring out who's going to do what. It's actually Camaro that's going to go to the top of the area to mark Thomas Cerros. And it'll be a free kick from Atif Ali. Left-footed. Looks like it had eyes for that top corner, but it just hung up into the air. As mentioned, a little bit of wind pressing towards the right touchline perhaps held that one up. And it's an easy pick out of the air for Montmorency, the keeper of the Nomads. Yami now. Ball along the deck with some pace, looking for Alexandre Marceau. Doesn't find its intended target. Seneca will regroup and try their luck again now. They're lining up for potential plays. Good cross into the area, into the heart of the area, top of the 6. It's one down shot, eventually into the net. It won't be a goal. Payman Sutani now looking for some confirmation, but his teammate Thomas Cerros just gives him a shove on the back and says, let's get on with things. We got a match to win here. You love the endeavor of the number 21 for Seneca, who has been here, there, and everywhere, and I mean that in a very good way. He has been buzzing along the front line of Seneca. Chimpuki dispossessed. Kamara comes back into just over 30 minutes into this one. 10 minutes plus some stoppage and a little change as well. But it's been a fairly tight encounter so far. Great play there from Adam Hoffman, who gives 2 dance routine moves there to the defender, Manswell Nichols. My goodness, what moves there. And he almost created a real chance. Another little clip around the back line from Alex Lewis finds Thomas Cerros. He tries to put in a cross. That comes off Sinzidi, and it'll be a deep throw-in, if not a corner. Probably a deep throw-in, but great work there from Othman, who nutmegged one and then inside and outed the other to almost get to the goal line. Robust challenge in the middle of the park there from Ali. Doesn't get its intended target. Marceau's on the end of the through ball. It's cleared off into touch. And the Nomads, I should say, look like they could kind of got lost slaloming through defenders. And it was won back by the Nomads, who will now have a throw-in. Chami. Manswell Nichols right to the touchline for Kamara, who didn't get his feet sorted out and on the left touchline if you have a lean breathing down your neck. Chami. Tidy ball on the deck inside for Yami. He's taken out by Abdul Latif, and it'll be a free kick the way the Nomads, they'll get it moving swiftly. Ball around the outside on the right-hand side for Sinzidi. He serves it up in the middle. This could be a real chance. Cut back. Oh, it was almost an open net for Marceau, but the pass was just not clean enough. It would have been a tap in for Marceau on the side foot, but it was the layoff that was just put far too centrally into a heap of white legs. So unfortunate for the Nomads, who it's been the story of their half. They've been as close as the goal line, but just have been inches. Chami again tries to play it right up the middle of the park. It gets picked off. And the captain, frustrated with himself after that one, gave out a bit of a war cry after he was dispossessed, but thankfully his fellow defenders won the ball back from Marceau, trying to knot it down into the path of Sinzidi, who has now crunched his man, and we have a Seneca player down. Perhaps just a bit of a stinger. The player will pick himself up and carry on. Othman just calling for a bit of patience from his teammates. Seneca right now in the driver's seat. Sultani going for a dribble. He's shown in this. Manswell Nichols floated ball over the top. A bit of an ass to ask Marceau to chase that one, but the keeper has come all the way out of his area, and Marceau does just enough to harry him and force him into a throw-in. A clearance for a throw-in, I should clarify. And now Yami has the ball on the touchline. The Nomads just taking their time. They're going to walk a few bodies into the opposition half and see if they can settle into some possession here. Marceau takes, turns, still tried to get it to Moting. Ooh, a bit of a loose pass there, but thankfully it was retrieved. It was Imran Abdul Latif who looked like it might have gotten away from him, but he just put on the afterburners and was able to get to it and stop any potential problems. Alexandre Marceau tried to spin his man. Great switch of play. The Nomads bopping it around nicely here, threading together, strings together some passes. It's just that final one. I've said it a few times, but it bears repeating. That final pass to cut open the defense of Seneca to really get it done. Ooh, that's a robust coming together, and Thomas Cerros gets the worst of it, but I can't say I agree with team. and leads by example. My goodness, what a rip on the left foot. He will go over to his bench, and it is hugs and kisses and smiles all around, and rightfully so. That's got to be the goal of the day. What a hit from the captain. It's 1-1. I've been saying the Nomads were just that final touch away from for his club. It's fantastic, and it is literally on the stroke of halftime. What a time to equalize, and his club knows how big that one is. It's 1-1 heading into the locker room, and Seneca may be licking their wounds after this one. The first 45 minutes is in the book here. Match day 1, game number 2. The score, Seneca Welcome back to Willoughby Park in Langley, British Columbia, Canada, site of the 2022 CCAA Men's National Soccer Championships. This is match day 1, game number 2 between the Seneca Sting of Toronto and the Nomades de Montmorency of Laval, Quebec. The score, 1-1. A fantastic goal to open the scoring from Rashad Griffith before a very late equalizer just before the halftime whistle from the captain, Ibrahim Chemi, from the Nomads. And we are now underway. Seneca playing in their white strip with red trim. They're going from right to left on your web stream. And the Nomads, I should say, are playing in the navy blue with white trim. They're playing from left to right on your web stream as well. As mentioned, the first half was probably a split between possession and chances created. However, I'd probably tip the edge ever so slightly to Seneca, but it was the Nomads who might hold the psychological/momentum advantage as their captain, Ibrahim Chemi, scorched in an excellent left-footed free kick that was literally the last kick of the half to equalize, and it was a bit deflating for the Seneca Sting, who themselves just see an effort go over the bar from Payman Sultani. He was busy in the first half. He picks up where he left off. Unfortunately, that effort soars over the bar in the south side of Willoughby Park, and the keeper for the Nomads, Muradian, will have a chance to get his troops forward here in what surely will be an evenly matched second half, much like the first. Of course, this is the second game of match day 1 here at the 2022 CCAA Men's National Championships. The first one, an enthralling encounter as well. Seesaw stuff, plenty of goals as well. It was a 5-2 victory for the Victoria Island Mariners. Of course, from Nanaimo, they took on Holland College from Charlottetown PEI, so an island battle, east and west respectively, taken by the Nanaimo squad, so they have the feather in their cap to start this tournament. Seneca and the Nomads respectively also looking for their first win to start the tournament. Attempted cross in the area from Thomas Cerros, who was showing signs of frustration at the end of that first half, just with the way it ended. Tries to put in a cross there, didn't like the result and showing some more frustration, so one of the better players in that first half, it has to be said, Thomas Cerros. He's got the pepper in the soup to start this 45. Left-footed effort there from Alex Lewis, who was instrumental in creating the goal for Seneca in that first half. Gets just way under that one, and it scoops off over into the ball boy section, I guess you could call it. I was going to call it an end zone, but I don't think this is kind of lined out for a football field at the moment, so we'll call it the ball boy section. Chimpuki. Beg your pardon, that's Soso code. Dribbling infield. It's a great tackle from Lewis, but Sissoko wins it right back. That was excellent play from both lads, as neither were willing to give up the possession. I beg your pardon, it was Sultani and Sissoko. Ooh, good dribble there. Good little spell of play from Adam Oathman. Thomas Cerros. He gets clubbed from behind. Might have been a foul. Referee and linesman both say play on. Alexandre Marcoux gets absolutely water skied on, and that'll be a yellow card for Seneca. That'll be Dillman Grual there, who was not inconspicuous about that yellow card at all. That was probably one of the most least subtle yellow cards you'll see. The number 4, center back for Seneca, as he brings down Alexandre Marcoux, who I must apologize for. I butchered his name quite a few times in that first half, so I'll take the L there. It is, in fact, Marcoux. Moting, dribbling, steps on the ball ever so slightly, but manages to get it out of his feet and keep it alive. Sissoko now on the dribble, right-footed. Good switch of play. And he'll find Manswell Nichols. Yami trying to just sort out his feet, gets it to the right foot, tried to slide it through for Kamara, who was also very busy in that first half for the Nomads. The pass doesn't come off. And Seneca will now get it up the park. I'm sure you can hear it on the field mics. The wind has picked up here at Willoughby Park. And it is blowing towards the Seneca goal. So if there's any floated balls over the top from the Nomads, they will be aided by a bit of a gusted wind, as you see there. Carries it right into the waiting feet of Kamara. Right-footed on the dribble. Kamara plays it into the area. Can it be a shot? No. It's actually blocked. It's a very good block from the central defender. As I believe it was Chimpuki who had gotten himself into a naughty little area just inside the penalty box. Good pass through the lines there from Seneca. Finds Rashad Griffith. A bit of a heavy first touch. Allows Simickin to pop in and just boot it out into touch. It will be a deep throw-in for Seneca as the ball boy has his work cut out from him on that far side. I think that one made its way into the parking lot. So just as long as they stay away from my Rolls Royce, everything will be okay. Simickin battling for position there with Thomas Cerros, who is putting himself about. You can't fault the lad for his effort. He's getting walloped and he's getting beaten up in most instances, but he's certainly putting himself in the mix as Thomas Cerros, the number 21, bushy-haired for the men in white, Seneca. Failed to mention there also was a substitution at the half for the Nomads. Entering number 8, Ryan Teshamoun. Good play there from Seneca. Muradian gets a clearance. It takes a favorable hop for Marcoux, I beg your pardon. And he was just offside, and it's unfortunate for the number 9 of the Nomads because he had options to his left and to his right, and Seneca were scrambling to get back there. It's unfortunate he wasn't able to time his run back to retrieve the ball in a little bit more of a timely fashion, let's say. Ball to the left channel now for Sultani. Plays it into the path of Alex Lewis. Cuts back to his right foot. Wanted to have a shot there. But the Nomads just doing enough to put up enough of a block and obstacle to impede that forward momentum from Seneca. Ooh, clever feet from Yami as well. He's a brave lad, Yami, because he got two-footed a couple times there, if we're being polite, by the number 26, Joel Alain. And he's lived to tell the tale, and he still has his dancing boots on, so I say bravo, Yami. He's keeping on going here, and he looks like he's improved. Moting. Carries inside Moting. He's clipped. It looks like it was Sultani who just got a piece of the heel. It wasn't malicious. Unfortunately, it was just a dash clumsy. And now the Nomads, almost in a very similar position to where Chami scored the equalizer in that first half. They're going to have a replica free kick here in the second half, just below our broadcast vantage point. Standing directly behind cameraman Mike as he zooms in on focus, getting the best shot for this angle here. He saw what happened at the other end, and we could potentially be in for a carbon copy here if Chami has his shooting boots on. Yami steps over it. Chami's going to put in a cross here to the back post. Oh, it was Kamara who threw out a boot, and you can just tell by his reaction how close he was. Laces away from potentially giving the Nomads the first lead of this tournament. Great bit of service there from Chami, who's been bread and butter from that distance all day long. Dillman Grual, who tries to dribble his way out of trouble, and he'll have to be on his best behavior moving forward here as he took a booking for a good old-fashioned water ski job on Alexandre Marcoux. Ball over the top. Marcoux, much like Bagiopoulos for the Victoria, Nanaimo club from Vancouver Island. Very good with his back to goal. Seems to relish the hold-up play and bringing his teammates in and waiting for options. Very patient in the play is Marcoux so far. He's just waiting for it to pay off and perhaps a goal or a chance. And he has had one in the first half, a beautiful glancing header, but it was Guerrieri, the keeper for Seneca, that kept him out that time. Oh, it's a bit of coming together between four lads. It looked like it was Sissoko, and I thought it was Othman, but it's actually Griffith. And it made an awful clattering sound, but thankfully everyone's up and okay and playing on. As if the fast and furious soccer wasn't enough incentive to come watch the matches here today at Willoughby Park in Langley, BC. Somebody has just fired up a barbecue, and if my nose does not deceive me, there are some good smelling burgers on the grill right now. So come down, get a bite, get a bevy, and check out some action, because the matches here today have been fast and furious. We've got 9 goals on the docket. We're not even 2/3 of the way through the second match, so goals aplenty here as these youngsters from across Canada ply their trade at a collegiate level. Kamara fighting his corner. He looks like he'll win the throw-in, but it originally went the way of the Nomads. They've been giving it back to Seneca, though. Great ball forward from Marcoux. He's found the onrushing Manswell Nichols. The keeper had to come flying off his line to deal with that one, and he actually dealt with it about as clean as he possibly could with a player breathing down his neck. It was actually Moting who made that run to challenge Guerrieri on that one-on-one encounter. Excellent awareness, though, in range from Marcoux, who didn't hesitate on springing that attack despite having multiple white shirts draped all over him. And here comes Marcoux again. It's great layoff play. It's great hold-off play. Once again, I sound like the lad's agent, but it's been fairly clean so far. Moting, great switch of play. He's going to find Kamara, opposite side of the park. Kamara now going to take on his man. Is he? Plays it inside, almost split the wickets and left 3 men for dead. He's helped out by Yami. Teed up now. Shot! Oh, just wide. If not, did it lick the post? It's going to be a corner kick. Perhaps the goalkeeper, Guerrieri, got a touch. It was the substitute who unleashed a furious effort there. It was great build-up. But Guerrieri, perhaps the post, perhaps a deflection, carry that one out for a corner kick. Great play from the Nomads. It'll be Yami, the number 26, into the area. Near post, helped on by Moting, flies all the way outside the area. And Kamara has a lash. He puts it over the chain link fence behind the net. He just scooped way too far underneath it to Kamara, who's had a couple sniffs this second half. Good bit of service from Yami, though. It was put in with just enough pace at the near post that regardless if it was helped on, flicked down, it was going to cause problems, and it did. Seneca have escaped unscathed, though. The throw-in helped on by Sultani. Just a bit of a visual block for the broadcaster as it was right below the dugouts and the canopy, so a little bit of a block. Marcoux takes the ball at his feet. Great selection of pass from Marcoux as well. Unfortunately, Kamara may have played his teammates into a spot of bother here. He's all over Sultani, but Sultani does good to slither away from him. Clever play there from the number 11 of Seneca. Now Lewis is behind the area. Simakin does his defensive duties. He comes across. He'll put it out into touch. Make that a corner kick for Seneca. They've absorbed a bit of Nomad pressure the last couple of minutes, but now they'll have their say. Looks like it'll be a throw in the way of Seneca again. It'll be Atif Ali. Yami going for a dribble. He's gotten around his man. I thought he had fairly gotten past the defender, but the referee says there was a little bit of argy-bargy there and brings it all the way back. Lewis gets wiped out. It was a bit of a slew foot, this time from Chimpuki. He'll come and offer him a helping hand on getting up. Chimpuki is pleading his case to the referee. I don't think he's going to be booked, but he's having a long conversation with him. He's going to be booked for that, Chimpuki. Interesting decision. It was clumsy, but it didn't look overly robust or malicious. Either way, Chimpuki, despite his finest lobbying attempts, will go in the book. Ali on the free kick, takes it short to the corner flag for Sultani, who's going to take on his man. Sultani gets to the outside, cuts it back across. Oh, it's a free header, I beg your pardon, right from the penalty dot. It should be 2-1 Seneca. I'm not sure who was on the end of that one, but my goodness, you're not going to get a much clearer look than that, and unfortunately, he sclaffs it off into touch. So the Nomads and the Sting have both had gilt edge chances in this second half. Kamara for the Nomads, I should say. And I want to say it was Thomas Cerros who came flying in for that header unmarked. Either way, you could argue it should be 2-2, but I guess 1-1 isn't that unfair of a result as it stands. Alex Lewis keeps his man at bay, gives him the Heisman, keeps him at arm's length. Offside on the far touchline. Adam Oathman. And the Nomads will have a chance to reset. Clip ball forward. Marcoux looking for it. The header was won by, I believe it was Gruel, but Marcoux beat him to the second piece as he tries to play it back to the top of the area. Yami was the closest to it. He couldn't make up the numbers in time. And now Alex Lewis will play out of the back. Two-thirds of this game in the book so far. Both sides have about a half hour, if you include stoppage time, to try and claim all 3 points. As we've mentioned earlier today, Vancouver Island University victorious over Holland College from PEI. The score 5-2. Bagiopoulos with a hat trick in that one. Thomas Cerros with a shot. It was a stinger. It creates a rebound. Oh, Rashad Griffith was first to the scene. But the defender, number 24, Ibrahim Chami, the goal scorer for the Nomads, puts in a crucial block. The keeper, Moradian, had given up a juicy rebound. Thomas Cerros had hit it with some kind of venom, and he couldn't hold on to it, could the keeper. And if it wasn't for Chami's intervention, it's probably a tap-in for Griffiths. Great play there from both squads. Ball over the top. It's found Moting. Poked away by Alain. Yami. Who's a bundle of energy, Yami. As I mentioned, he got beat up pretty bad in that first half on a couple slide tackles, but he's licked his wounds and he's got himself back in the fight. Looks like Seneca is going to be making a substitution here shortly. We'll try and get you the number and the player on that one. We do have a chance here as Sissoko's found some acreage in the right channel. Could he put in a cross? He's just sizing up the right opportunity on the right foot, and he's just left it a little bit too late. Alex Lewis, the number 10. for Seneca has probably been the busiest of the men in white so far. His efforts haven't really paid off, and he's starting to show some signs of frustration. But I'm sure he won't be deterred. It'll be number 7, Joshua Alegria, to come on for Seneca here shortly. We'll see who he replaces. Good headed win down there by Atif Ali. He was vertically outmatched there against Kamara, but he put on his bouncy shoes and he got up there and beat the number 10 from the Nomads. Shot from Yami, takes an awkward hop. Hits Guerrieri right in the sternum area. Took another wicked rebound. So once again, with these cold temperatures, the turf and the rubber pellets in it do have a little bit of extra ricochet, a little bit of extra carry, a little bit of extra pace, a little bit of extra dynamicism on them. And you could see it there as that ball just bounced all over the place. The keeper did well to keep it out of his own net. Here comes the substitution. It'll be the goal scorer, Rashad Griffith, to come off, and number 7, Joshua Alegria, to come on for Seneca. Bit of head tennis in the middle of the park. Neither squad really able to settle on it. Eventually it's hooped up into the night and cleared by Alain. It'll be a throw-in for the Nomads up the left touchline. Taken quickly by Manswell Nichols. Marcoux tried to bring it down. He kind of got caught off balance and was always leaning backwards. Lewis tried to get out of a phone booth there. He had 3 blue shirts all around him. He's still doing well to keep it alive. He had Yami right in his kitchen. But Lewis wins the physical duel there. Thomas left-footed into the mixer. Helped on! Right into the waiting arms of Muradian. The execution was good. It just needed a bit more pace on that one. I think if that one was really zipped in and helped on, it would have caused some serious trouble for the keeper. But as it stands, it went right into his waiting arms. Moting now. Cross into the box. Stoop down, head away by Grual. The Nomads just can't break down the impenetrable white and red wall that is the Seneca Sting backline. Great ball there from Thomas Cerros. Finds Alegria. Shot! Oh, great block. Fantastic block there from Sissoko. Alegria had gotten goal side of his defender and just needed to place it. But it was a last-ditch toe that deflects it into the waiting arms of Muradian. Fantastic play there from Alegria, but an even better block from Sissoko. Here come the Nomads in transition again. It's end-to-end stuff at the moment. Moting tries to play it forward for Marcoux. Just left it a little short for Marcoux. He tried to hang the leg back and kind of bring it up to himself, but he couldn't get it. Sultani now has it. Clearance, I should say, into the, looked like the chest or the face of Kamara. There were some claims for a handball from the Sting players. Marcoux and Kamara just played on, almost managed to intertwine and weave their way through the Sting backline. But thankfully, if you're a Sting supporter, they were able to pick up on that danger. Great play. Abdul Latif, whose name we haven't called a ton here tonight. The moments he has been on the ball, he's been fairly tidy. Unfortunately, I put the kiss of death on him. He's dispossessed there. Marcoux receives a long ball over the top. Marcoux on his right foot. Cuts it back. Moting. Marcoux. has a chance to put in a cross, sizes up his options. He's going to get an instep on it. It falls out the backside. Yami just couldn't get to it. Very patient play there for Marcoux, and it almost paid off. It looks like they've let Michael McCall into the building. Standards have seriously dropped in soccer these days. I'm just kidding. Michael McCall will be on for the later 2 games of today's broadcast. Of course, that's the schedule we'll follow moving forward. Corey gets the early games. Michael McCall gets the beauty sleep in the late games. And then, of course, we'll join you. We'll reunite the band on the medal round. Both Michael and myself will take care of all the games on Saturday. Right now, the Nomads and Seneca in a bit of a stalemate as it stands, though. Alain for Thomas Cerros, who, as mentioned, has been beaten from stem to sternum in this matchup. He's taken a serious walloping at some stages. He's spent more time on the turf than he has on the ball, and that's through no fault of his own. He's just put himself about, and he's been sandwiched in between 2-3 players at a time in certain occasions. But he's been influential, highly influential for the attacking portion of his team's performance today. Sultani, great through ball, onside for Allegria. Allegria, left-footed, cuts back to his right. Oh, he had options. He also had some time, and I don't think he realized how much time he had. He could have certainly uncorked a shot or cut back into his instep. But he just rushed it ever so slightly and forced it back a ways. Sultani for Lewis. Once again, the story of Lewis's half. He's just found himself swarmed by blue shirts whenever he does get the ball. That last foray into the area by Allegria, probably one of the better chances of the half so far, it has to be said. Kamara's had a couple sniffs. There was the one header that was almost a phantom header. And then that last opportunity there. So not a ton of chances, but you feel there's still lots to come here. Will it be a corner kick? It will. Kamara had gotten himself into a good spot again in that left portion of the area. He challenges Dilman Gruwal, who is now down in some discomfort, and Seneca might be forced into a substitution. He's clutching the left knee, and he rolled around a couple times too, and Greywall's put himself about here today as well. He's not one to stay down, so this is probably a nasty one for the tall number 4 for the Seneca Sting. Now some of the Seneca substitutes up off their bench getting warmed up. And here comes the corner kick from Yami right into the heart of the area! Was it cleared off the line? My goodness! If there was ever a time for goal line technology, that was probably it. That looked half in, half out. A real chance for the men in blue there. And once again, you can say we would like video replay, we'd like VAR, we'd like goal line technology, but unfortunately we've gone full grassroots here. That may very well have been a goal. It looked like it was at least half in from our vantage point here. My goodness, what a chance for the Nomads. And they're going to keep the pressure alive. They smell blood right now, do the Nomads. And perhaps this is the time where Seneca could finally strike with a sucker punch on the counter-attack. Alain. Great ball up the touchline, and that's caused a bit of havoc for the Nomads' defense. Oh, Thomas Cerros just tried to roulette his man Simakin, and that would have opened up acres of space for the likes of his attacking partner Allegria as well as Sultani, but unfortunately the spin move just didn't work for Thomas Cerros. And the Nomads were able to stop that attack. Sultani threads a through ball forward for Alex Lewis. Can he keep it in? He can. Ball to the back post. Header from Oathman. He did have Manswell Nichols giving him trouble, but may wanted to have done better on that particular opportunity there, Oathman. There'll be a substitution now for the Nomads. It looks like it'll be Musa Demba Sissoko leaving the matchup. And entering the matchup will be Yassine El Mutakil. Kamara trying to put in a cross. Great little bit of play there from Yami. Takes a shot first time. Once again, the hard part was doing the hurdle to get past the defender, but I don't think he knew how much time he had. He could have probably had another touch and had a little bit of more time to compose himself. It was clever play, though, from Yami, who probably over the course of the 90, you might have to tip your cap as the best player for the Nomads so far. The defense has been very, very good for the Nomads as well. It's been a real team performance. But Yami took a licking in that first half, but has just kept on ticking. He's aged like a fine wine, and his contributions have not ended yet. Great interception there from Moting. He picks it off the foot of Sultani. He has a bit of time and space. Great play there. Fantastic switch of play. Looking for Kamara. It's headed away by Elaine. And Kamara's going to let it go out for a throw-in, taken quickly for Yami. Chimpuki. Moting. El Motakil. Well, the seas have just started to part a little bit here for Moting. Thomas Cerros was having none of that, though. He flashes in to steal the ball, and now Sultani will have a chance to carry out of his back line. It's been a seesaw affair so far. Both squads have enjoyed extended periods of momentum, where if you just happened to dip into the game during that certain time, you'd be adamant that that side had led the game for the entire 90, but they've just swapped roles of momentum. Here comes Thomas Cerros again. Great through ball. Looks for Allegria. In the area, Allegria cuts back to his right foot, sizing up his options, keeps Simakin at bay. Back to Thomas Cerros. Cross into the area for Sultani. From Sultani, I beg your pardon. It's headed straight up into the air by Chami. Still kept alive, though. Thomas Cerros. Is he going to have a rip? No. Cuts back to his left foot. A little bit closer to the area now in the penalty box. Still going Thomas Cerros. They've left him wide open. Oh, and it's almost a tap in at the back post. My goodness, it's Adam Oathman. With the ball just ever so slightly behind him. It's been two gilt-edged chances on cutback crosses for Seneca in this second half, and both have gone a begging, both air shots. My goodness, will they rue those missed chances? The Nomads have come close as well, but not as agonizingly close as Seneca have. You could argue they should be up 3-1. Just about 10 minutes left in this one, plus added time. Will the either side pop up for a late, dramatic winner here? We may have very well had it a couple of minutes ago when it looked like the ball came across the area. Great challenge from the keeper, who actually won the ball against the Nomads' number 8. He blew a shin guard. He goes down. It was a robust challenge, but the goalkeeper got all ball there. It was fantastic, brave goalkeeping, and it'll be Seneca ball. A deep throw in inside their own half. Brave goalkeeping as well, because he had to dive headlong at it, did Gurrieri. Nami does the tightrope walk along the near touchline. A couple calls for the ball going out, but the near side linesman was right on top of it. Marcoux takes it, shoots! Had some sting, but it was always swerving away from that top left-hand corner of Guerrieri's net. Marcoux has that in his locker, though. Very well-rounded forward, the number 9 for the Nomads. Sultani. Lewis. Thomas Cerros cleverly escapes 2 challenges, but it was 1-2 too many touches, as he did have options to his left and to his right. Yami now plays it for Marcoux. The flag does go up. Marcoux kind of saw it out of the corner of his eyes and put on the brakes before he made that lung-busting run to retrieve that ball. Fantastic opening 2 games here to the 2022 CCAA Men's National Soccer Championships here at Willoughby Park in Langley, BC. Great play there from Sultani. He hurdles his man, puts it across. Is it in? No, it's a great save from Muradian. It was a heap of bodies. It pinballed around and just took enough steam on it so the keeper could duck down and put his hands on it. That one looked like that was earmarked for the goal. Great cross again from Payman Sultani, who's been the most active player for Seneca in this half. He just needs one of his forwards to get on the end of one of those cutback crosses and smash it home. Simakin across for Chami. 8 minutes plus stoppage to go here. Moting. El Mutakil cuts it back. Oh, for Marcoux, and he knows his touch let him down there. He had at least 5 yards of space, but it was just way too heavy. Had he been able to just nestle it into himself and pick out a corner, oh, it would have been ideal. It was a great cross from El Mutakil as well. But Marcoux, whose touch has been fairly bang on this match, lets him down at the time where he needs it most. Free kick the way of Seneca Sting. It'll be Thomas Cerros to oversee this one. Atif Ali plays it short. Sultani has lots of space. He's going to cut in another left footer. This time headed clear by, I believe it was Moting. And the Nomads will put the laces forward. Marcoux tried to play a through ball for Kamara. It would have been a tough ask for Kamara to get to the end of that one had it have been right in his lane. Good play here. Yami. Gets WWE side slammed there by the defender, Aaron Toniolo. And Yami, who much like Thomas Cerros, his counterpart on Seneca, has been worn down to a nub physically in the middle of the park. They have really put him through the physical test, have Seneca. There'll be a free kick, dead central, probably about 40 yards out, maybe even 45. It looks like we have a player down. It might be the captain. Chamey, beg your pardon. No, he's up the park. Might be Simakin, the other central defender. And the Nomads will have a player stripped down, as it looks like a substitution may be imminent here. The coach won't want to risk any fitness issues in these crucial moments. Xavier Houndo Richard. Waiting to come on here. And there were some cramping problems in the earlier matches. And it is, in fact, Simakin who, my goodness, he got up, assessed himself, and then has sat right back down. And perhaps like the last match, it might be a little bit more serious than a cramp. What was initially anticipated as being or assumed to be a cramp, I should say. All of a sudden you start taking a little bit more of a watchful eye or a thicker lens or what have you to that type of injury. He is still down and still getting looked at. We'll see what this does for the flow of the game as well. As not to say that we were in a lull in play, but both squads were in their rhythm. Perhaps we can get Michael McCall on the microphone here. Talk about the upcoming matches. Hopefully Michael's able to hear me when he puts this on. You'll have the next two matches coming up here, Michael.
Yeah, should be a good one. Really looking forward to the games. Just had a chat with the Boniface head coach. They know that they're going to be in for a bit of a battle. It's going to be a real tough one coming up against Humber, but absolutely two fantastic quarterfinals that we've had so far this morning. Both of them on a knife edge, really. I mean, the first one looked like it was going to get out of sight and then just levelled up till late on. Mm-hmm. And this one, you'd be a brave person to call which one this one's going to go.
No, absolutely very well matched. Michael McCall will be on our two later games for today's affairs, and he'll also be on tomorrow as well for the two late games. He'll have the two late games on Friday, and then we get the band back together on Saturday, Michael, and we'll both take care of those medal games on Saturday,
yeah,
sir.
Very much looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the penalties in this one as well, I think, the way that it's heading.
There you go. Michael McCall joins us here on the broadcast. As mentioned, he'll be up for the next two matches. A very quick preview. Here comes the free kick. Yami into the area, nodded away. It's always nice when you have a little brief spell where you can bring on the fellow broadcasters and cross-promote and tee up the matches. And me and Michael will have our hands full over the next couple of days here, not just with the medal round, but, of course, with Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays encounters as well as we suss out who are the haves and who are the have-nots of this tournament. But we've seen some real talent on display already. And like Michael said in that first game, what looked to be a done-and-dusted Vancouver Island 3-0 walk to victory all of a sudden became a mad world dash to the missing tee with the loot underneath, as Holland College certainly made a game of it. And this game has been very evenly matched between the Nomads and the Seneca Sting. El Mutakil tries to put in a cross. He's been very good since coming on. He's been busy. He's attacked the back line, and he's attempted to put in early crosses. That time it's blocked, and it'll be a corner kick in the right-hand side. We're into the 89th now. I can imagine there will be a bit of stoppage, though, after the knock to Simakin earlier, and of course that did force the sub. Xavier Houndo Richard, number 16, making his way into this one. It's a low, hard cross. It almost got across the 6-yard box, but it's side-footed clear by Alex Lewis. Low, hard shot. Ooh, closer than initially anticipated. It was a worm burner, and Gurrieri kind of just watched it roll by his post, but I think as it rolled past his post, he was like, wow, that looked a lot closer than I thought it was. Excellent judgment in the end by Gurrieri, but perhaps a little bit too close for comfort if you're a Seneca Sting fan. Alegria, the substitute, tries to get right side of Sissoko, cuts back to his left foot, cuts it across! Oh, it's blocked. Thomas Cerros had a really good look at that one, and he hit it. He got everything behind it. He just smoked it into the calves or the shins of a defending player. Of course, a quick reminder, as we see 3 minutes of added time go on the fourth official's LED board, straight to penalty kicks Should this be tied after the 90, which will save a little bit of legs, let's be honest here. Extra time is probably the fairest way to decide the result, but at the end of the day, this is a tournament format, so I want to give some of these young players a bit of a rest and keep the matches entertaining and exciting. Clip ball from the Nomads backline to Marcoux. Kind of gets his switch of play a little bit wrong. Hit it on the outside of his left boot. Seneca look like they want to have one last kick at the can. Alex Lewis just blew a tire, unfortunately at the worst possible time. And now the Nomads themselves blow a tire. It's Yami, as both midfielders unable to keep their feet in crucial moments. Sultani now attacking the area. Cuts back to his right foot. His left tried to spray a pass to the top of the area. It doesn't come off, though. Moting hollers for the ball. Gets crunched. Probably should have been a foul. The referee now will whistle it down after it looked like Alex Lewis might get away with one. Moting will stand over this one. The Nomads haven't put a ton of lads forward, so it looks like they will try and play this one cool, not take any chances, not take any unnecessary risks. Seneca look like they're going to be making a substitution here. They're waving a player over in the yellow bib. Just a stoppage in play here. Adam Oathman will make his way out of this matchup. And Jazeel Nerona, the number 20, will make his way on. Final embers of this one just before penalty kicks, but the Nomads look to have the slight edge. They have their tails up. El Mutakil looked like he might have won a corner there. He certainly lobbied for it, but the linesman, Johnny on the spot, says white ball, and Seneca will probably have the last possession of the game. The referee has the whistle ready, as penalty kicks seem to be imminent. Clip ball along the back line, or I should say the touchline for Allegria. Lays it off for Lewis. Back to Allegria right by the corner flag. He is offside, though, as Allegria, as he had just drifted into an offside position. This will probably be the last kick of the can for either squad. There'll be a switch of play, which might be a dash risky, as Thomas Cerros was breathing down his neck. A loud war cry from the Seneca Sting coach. Perhaps he thought his squad could take care of business in 90 minutes. But the soccer gods and the Nomads will have other plans. 1-1 after 90 minutes. Seneca goal by Rashad Griffith, the equalizer from Ibrahim Chamey, the captain for the Nomads. No goals after that. A potential goal for the Nomads that might have required VAR intervention. It looked like it crossed the line, but no goal was given. As it stands, 1-1 here. The second game of match day 1 at the 2022 CCAA Men's National Championships will go to penalty kicks. We'll take a very brief break, and we'll join you right back here at Willoughby Park in Langley, BC for those penalty kicks. Back here at Willoughby Park in Langley, BC, the 2022 CCAA Men's National Soccer Championships. The early matchup, Vancouver Island University taking care of business against Holland College. That was a 5-2 final. A 1-1 final after 90 minutes here between Seneca College Sting and the Nomades de Montmorency of Laval, Quebec. And as per tournament protocol, we head straight to penalty shootouts after the 90 to decide this result. I believe it will be 5-on-5. And it looks like the Nomads will shoot first. It'll be the lad that I was impressed with in the first half anyways, Shalom Chimpuki. He will stare down Anthony Guerrieri of the Seneca Sting. It'll be a right-footed effort with the sun against him. Chimpuki, right-footed, scores, top bins on the goalkeeper's left-hand side. Interesting that they chose to take the penalties with the sun directly facing the shooter, so advantage goalkeepers in this penalty shootout, I'm saying. His counterpart, fellow number 6, Chimpuki. Of course, I'm speaking of Atif Ali, the number 6 for the Seneca Sting. Didn't call his name a ton during the flow of the match, but certainly didn't make any mistakes and was certainly very clean in possession. Here comes Ali, left-footed, and he goes over the bar. He went for the same corner that Chimpuki went for, but he put a little bit too much mustard on it, and it soars off into the mesh caging behind the net. Advantage Nomads. It'll be the substitute who just came on the pitch probably no less than 10 minutes ago, Xavier Houndo Richard. Looks like his will be a right-footed effort as well. Hands on his hips, he'll size it up, right-footed. And he is stopped. He actually went up the middle, but the trailing legs of the keeper, Guerrieri, make a fantastic stop. Unlucky on the Nomads, but very clever keeping by Guerrieri. Now Alex Lewis has the chance to bring his club level. Very busy in the second half was Lewis. He must be absolutely exhausted. And he was one of those players that Nomads had sussed out as the danger man. They had draped 2 or 3 blue shirts on him at each time. We'll see if his energy, his concentration have been depleted by some of those robust tackles from the Nomads. Here comes Lewis. Left-footed, it appears. He will change to the right foot, stutter step, and coolly rolls it into the net. Very well done there from Lewis. It's 2-2. We're all equal here in the penalty shootouts. Lais Aghilis Yami for the Nomads. For my money, probably the best player for the Nomads, perhaps on the park as far as in possession, endeavor, and industry. He'll be right-footed as well. And I believe Yami scored. That came off the inside bar of the net. I didn't want to get too excited lest it was the post, or vice versa. But to little pomp and circumstance, Yami just blasted off the bar and coolly walks back to the half. A great penalty from the Nomads 26. It will be Joel Alain, number 26, for Seneca. Ooh! Just by the hair of his chinny chin. He smacks it low and hard to the right of Muradian, who almost got there. A very tidily taken penalty there from Joel Alain. Ryan Kamsu Moting, number 7 for the Nomads. who was up and down the touchline all day long. He put in an extremely vigorous shift. Did the number 7. Can he bury his penalty now? Taking a little extra time to size up his options. A sidestep. He goes right-footed to his left, the keeper's right, and buries it. It was hit with some pace, but it was hit at a nice height for the keeper. Had he guessed the right way, we might have been talking about a different scenario. It's now time for the substitute for the Seneca Sting, number 7, Joshua Allegria, who had a couple half chances in the second half. Some cutback efforts as well. He will be right-footed. Stutter step, and goes to his right, the keeper's left. Much like Alex Lewis a couple shooters beforehand, that little stutter step just took the wind out of Muradian's sails and did just enough to send him the right way. Ryan Chemoun to take now for the Nomads, a substitute in the second half. And if I'm not mistaken, he's the 5th shooter. Michael McCall nods his head in approval. He has his abacus out. He got that one right. And it's 3-3. The number 8 for the Nomads. A very short run up. He goes low to his right and he's stopped. Ooh, it was the deceivingly short run up. Usually you see those blasted high, but he chose to go soft and low, and the keeper just played the weight game, and he wins that duel. Advantage, Seneca Sting, with Francisco Thomas Cerros approaching the spot. Francisco Thomas Cerros, one of the busiest men on the park for either squad, left-footed. Shifting to his right foot now. Stutter step. And he scores low and hard into the left corner. And the rest of his teammates charge forward from the center dot to embrace the keeper, to embrace Thomas Cerros. It was nervy at times. It looked like it might go the Nomads' way. But the Seneca Sting have triumphed. 1-1 after the 90. 4-3 in penalty shootouts. That wraps up game number 2 of match day 1 here at Willoughby Park in Langley, BC, the 2022 CCAA Men's National Championships. The early game saw the Vancouver Island University Mariners take care of business against Holland College from Charlottetown, PEI by 5-2. And as mentioned, this one just wrapping up. It's a final. The Nomads won. Chamey with the goal from a free kick. Seneca won. The goal from Rashad Griffith. They take it to Seneca 4-3 in a shootout. Thank you so much for joining me, Corey Basso, for the first 2 matchups of this busy day of soccer here in Langley, BC. Michael McCall will guide you the rest of the way with the final 2 matchups. Of course, a full schedule of games tomorrow, Friday, and we wrap it all up with the medal games on Saturday. Good day, everybody.